Hello, good people. Welcome back to Global Happenings today. We're so excited to have you again. Most of the allegation that has been brought against Peter Obi fairly recently has been responded to by himself, but this time around, a particular group has decided to respond to an allegation that had been brought up against him about some activities that he carried out in the past against Islamic community in Anambra State. If you look at Peter Obi very well, you notice that all those secret moves by some politician to frustrate him and make sure that his campaign fails, or the kind of awoken emotional fight against him from different geopolitical zones seems to be failing. But this time around, they come up with some stuff against him, which you're going to hear in the news, and which is enough to trigger emotional fight against him from especially the northern region. But shockingly, an Anambra based northern group has decided to respond to it so that it can be fixed without any form of wahala, and just to make sure that the candidacy of Mr. Peter Obi is still in progress. We are going to be looking at what actually had happened and what the allegation is all about, what this Anambra-based northern group have to say. Now, according to the news, an Anambra-based northern group has denied allegation that the Labour Party presidential candidate Mr. Peter Obi demolished 7 mosques in Onitsha when he was governor of Anambra State. It also said that Obi did not chase Hausa people out of the area, contrary to the allegation. Recall that Obi has ruled Anambra State as the governor from March to November 2006, February to March 2007, and from June 2007 to March 2014, respectively. Obi, who was a vice presidential candidate of the People Democratic Party (PDP) in the 2015 general election, is currently the presidential candidate of the People Democratic Party in the party. Okay, sorry, I'll take that again. Obi, who was the vice presidential candidate of the People Democratic Party (PDP) in 2015 general election, is currently the presidential candidate of the Labour Party (LP) in the 2023 general election. Allegations have trailed his emergence that he did not only demolish mosques but also chase Hausa people out of Anambra. Reacting to the allegation in a statement, the northern group operating under the aegis of coalition of northern group in Anambra State said the allegation was a concoction of desperate failed politicians seeking to use religion and ethnicity to woo unmerited votes to themselves, noting that the Labour Party's presidential candidate had himself reacted to the allegation in 2018 prior to the 2019 election where he was vice presidential candidate. The northern group wondered why such issue would still rear its ugly head when he has dismissed it earlier as sheer fabrication, wicked and inhuman. The group, in a statement signed by the chairman Alhaji Muhammad Isa Jallo and Hajia Jamila Ibrahim, women coordinator, said contrary to the claim, its members have lived peacefully in the state more than 4 decades. The group, which described itself as coalition of all the northern association in Anambra State in southeast Nigeria, said attention has been drawn to a deliberate malicious campaign of calumny against the presidential candidate of Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, by some failed, desperate politicians and criminals who have lost touch with real issues for their campaign, falsely alleging that Mr. Peter Obi had anti-North stand when he was governor of Anambra State. We are surprised that these unfounded allegations and malicious claims have gone some step further, rather resulted to name dropping despite several rebuttals by very credible Nigerians on the same subject matter. We wish to state here categorically that as Northerners who have been living here in Anambra State for over 20 years, His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi did not demolish mosques and never sent our Muslim brothers out of Anambra State during his tenure as the governor. Without mincing word, we wish to say here that nothing can be more untrue and outright mischief like these allegations. Our members have been living in Anambra State before Peter Obi became the governor of the state and have remained in the state till the moment doing their legitimate businesses. If we may ask, who are the Muslims or Northerners that Mr. Peter Obi sent away during his tenure as the governor? Can the sponsor of the fabricated act point to them for Nigerians to see? As a matter of fact, his government remained one of the most friendliest government to the Northerners and Hausa community in particular in the state. Going further, the group said ordinarily we would not have joined issues with these desperate agents of blackmail so as not to dignify them, but for the innocent reading public who may be misinformed. Coalition of Northern Group in Anambra State described Peter Obi as a responsible, fair, and detribalized gentleman. The group recalled that Obi's tenure as governor of Anambra State was tough on criminals. There is no record of any Northerners sent out of Anambra State during Mr. Peter Obi's tenure in office. We challenge the proponent of these falsehoods to an open television debate to bring up their facts. Those were the words of the group. They went further to say, as we make this press statement, the northern community, particularly in the Hausa Muslim, operate one of the biggest livestock and agricultural produce market in Anambra State. We have been doing our businesses unmolested till date. So it's wickedness of the highest order for anybody to speak lies in the name of politics. The group said on the second allegation that Sir Peter Obi demolished 7 mosques in Onitsha in 2012 can only be another half-baked lie that cannot stand public scrutiny. First, for the records, there are no 7 mosques anywhere in Onitsha for Peter Obi to have demolished. Onitsha have just one public mosque, so this is clear mischief aimed at setting the houses against Peter Obi, which will not succeed. We wish to assure our Hausa brothers all over the country that no single mosque was demolished during the tenure of Peter Obi as governor. Our mosque was intact during his tenure and still intact today. We wish to appeal to our brothers not to buy into the cheap blackmail by some desperate politicians who have lost touch with realities and now resulted to only campaign of calumny against Sir Peter Obi. Wow. I mean, the way things are going, we don't need a soothsayer or a prophet to tell us that Peter Obi is ordained from heaven to take Nigeria out of where it is. Now, why am I saying that? They have been mischief makers coming up from different angles, trying to beat up religious and ethnic sentiment so that Nigerians will reject Mr. Peter Obi. But it seems everything seems to fail day after day. Imagine, he wasn't even the one that had to come out to debunk all of this. It was the same people who were enjoying his company when he was the governor of Anambra State are the ones who are coming out so loud and even demanding for a television debate. Let us see the people that you say Mr. Peter Obi humiliated. Let us see the number of mosques that you talked about that he demolished. First of all, in Anambra State, in Onitsha, we have just one mosque. So when did Mr. Peter Obi, go around demolishing all the mosques and all of that? I mean, this is one of the best record a man can set. And I feel the public itself, that's Nigerians themselves, need to take advantage of all of this to vote in Mr. Peter Obi to lead Nigeria. Destiny has already pointed it out to us. It's just like the case in the Bible where God said to man, he said, I put before you life and death, but I tell you, choose life. This one is so clear. God has put before us Peter Obi and the rest of the corrupt politician, and he's telling us, choose Peter Obi. And I feel that happenings around, stories we have heard, both from his own people, from outside and all of that, points to the fact that this is the right man. And I assure you that he will take us there. Let's go to our conversation. What's your standpoint on this